So we are continuing with our inscriptions, and so last class we were discussing about the Indo-Scythian rulers, and there were two main dynasties or groups of rulers that had come up, the Northern Satraps and the Western Satraps. So we already discussed the Northern Satraps inscriptions. They were mostly found in the Mathura regions, and now we'll focus on the Western Satraps, who were primarily reigning over the western side of the Indian subcontinent, hence the name. So the Western Satraps also were a very illustrious family. They were able to conquer a lot of different regions and have marriage alliances with a lot of different local dynasties as well. They minted coins. They had a very prosperous economy and a dynasty, as well as they were very much interested in the art and culture of India, particularly in the language, in the architecture, as well as the religious sects. So when we look at these inscriptions, we understand their prosperity, their power over that region, as well as their genealogical history, which is very important for the Indo-Scythians. So the first inscription I will talk about is one of the most illustrious inscription of their time and of their dynasty, and that is the Junagarh inscription. It is also known as the Girnar inscription because it was found in the Girnar region of the Junagarh district of Gujarat. Now, so this Junagarh inscription has been, you can say, has been attested to Rudradaman. So it was him that the inscription was written about, and it was written around 150 CE. Now, why the Junagarh inscription is so illustrious, why it is very famous and popular, is because of the way it is written, as it is seemingly supposed to be an inscription written in perfect Sanskrit prose of that period, and such a prose or a style that has never been seen before. So you can say that Rudradaman, this inscription kind of led to a more different style of inscription writing, and the point or the main focus that he chose Sanskrit over Prakrit and Pali is also very significant. Is that because he wanted to be seen as more Sanskritized and very much popular or amicable or amiable to the Brahmin elite. So that is why he had chosen Sanskrit in case of Prakrit. Okay, and this Junagarh inscription is anyways already very popular because it also hosts the Ashokan Edicts. We talked about the Ashokan Girnar Edict, the Major Rock Edict, as well as there is also inscription from the Gupta era of the talking about Skandagupta. So, so that is also why this inscription is very important. So this Junagarh rock inscription has three main people being inscriptions there. There's Ashoka, Rudradaman, and the last is Skandagupta. So it is very long and has a lot of different information. Another focal point of the Junagarh inscription, apart from the Sanskrit use, is that that is also one of the only the earliest styles of a prashasti. So we come across to the prashasti when we are talking about Kharavela's Hathigumpha inscription, which was one of the first prashastis ever written. But if we want to talk about prashastis in the Sanskrit language, then this Rudradaman Junagarh inscription is the first one. So again, this is a very novel feature to be brought out, the idea of a prashasti or a eulogy. Eulogy is nothing but where it is written usually by a patron of a king, so to be a royal, a poet, or a person, a very intellectually gifted and talented person, and he is going to be given this task of writing a eulogy of his patron or the king. And so so this eulogistic inscriptions, how do we understand that it is eulogistic, is because that the language will be used is be very overflowy, extravagant, basically flattery in the sense. It will be very flattery. It will be talking about the power, their riches, their prosperity, their the genealogy, and all such different information, which is used to you can say, market their dynasty as one of the most illustrious dynasty, most you can say powerful dynasty, and it also, in the religious sense also, you can say substantiates the divine right to rule. So these are known as eulogistic or prashastis inscriptions. So especially the prashasti inscription in Sanskrit was written by Rudradaman. These prashastis will then be more seen in various numbers, more in the Gupta and post-Gupta period, where it became one of the most popular type of inscriptions. So you can say that the prototype that is coming for the Gupta period inscriptions of prashastis is coming from the Rudradaman's Junagarh inscription, hence it is very important. Okay, so the entire inscription is of 25 lines, and it is seen on the rock, which is almost 5.5 feet high and 11 feet wide. How it happened